Okay, guys, this is going to be my review of Mad Max Fury Road. And I mean, this is like an action film fan's dream. There's just one action set piece after another. And because most of it was practical, effects, and was practical and it actually happened, and they actually did the stunts. It just makes it feel better because I just think like when it's practical stunts, you just know that. You can tell when something's practical stunts. And when it's practical stunts, it just feels better because it feels not only just more realistic, at any rate, but just more exciting and visceral and intriguing when that car actually flipped and that guy on the motorcycle actually jumped off the hill. It just makes it better instead of seeing CGI, and it just makes it feel a lot more energetic when it's real, and it adds a lot of novelty to it. So I think like the craftsmanship and the stunt choreography and the different set pieces were great. And I love the colored imagery, whether it be like the blue or the a lot of the desert yellow and the red and the different color palettes that this film takes on. Whether like during the daytime and the nighttime and all that stuff. And it was really cool. And again, and I think the action sequences are actually very unique because of this apocalyptic setting. It very much adds to the film in pretty cool ways because like you have a lot of stuff that I feel like the different action sequences are benefited by the setting, where whether it be like people like the people on the poles jumping on, and people sacrificing themselves, and the tanks, and the dunes, and yeah, I just think there's something very unique about it. Whether you talk about again the different vaulting stunts, and the guitar, the fire guitar, and the big cars, and the spikes on the cars, and the fire boosters. I feel like it benefits from this apocalyptic setting, which can allow things that you don't really see, allow things on cars and different fiery things and different settings that you can't normally have in a real world setting. And I think what makes this kind of also interesting is there is some sort of a story. You have this idea of like this apocalyptic world where this guy has full control, and someone steals his daughter and a bunch of other girls he owns as like slaves, and then Max joins up with Furiosa, who betrayed him to transport the girls to what she hopes to be her home area, her hometown. And there is a story behind it. And I think that's what makes it interesting. And on top of the the kind of cool kind of performances by um, Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron. I think that's another thing, and the different supporting casts. And I love like Nux, which I believe is the completely pale guy. He was kind of cool. What a day! What a lovely day! I mean that was all great, and I love like like it's almost like just one big action sequence. And there's so many memorable moments within the different car chases and the stunts. Whether you talk about the stuff with where Max is on the chains and he's fighting. We get the arrow stuck through his hand, and the whole again like the whole pole vaulting stuff where they're jumping to things, the fist fights, the shootings. There's like car shootings where like they're in the car and they're shooting, and it just makes it for a very entertaining ride. Again, I think being benefited by that, not only this apocalyptic setting where you can have stuff like these almost I think like zombie like people pole vaulting upon different vehicles and the motorcycles, and I think it definitely offers the best experience. And I think because it's not like because it's just like on like one road, it actually serves itself to be able to be pretty practical, because I think a lot of car chases might involve a lot of these like special effects heavy car chases involve like cars jumping from rooftop to rooftop, from one height to another height. But because it's on kind of like one road for a lot of it, it is very, it can be beneficial, because instead of CGI cars from jumping from one building to another, no, you can have cars flipping. That's done. That can be done. You can have explosions in the distance, and cars flipping and different I already said cars flipping and people jumping from things to things. Granted there is some special effects, and that's it fits pretty seamless because of the fact it's when you think of special effects, the best kinds are the ones that make it seamless. Those are the best kind of visual effects. Are the ones you don't even know are visual effects and VFX, And that's kind of the truth. And again, like for an action fan like me, it was just great to see visceral, unique action sequences where it's like, yes, it's just one big car chase, but it's unique in the sense where it's like you have these different people and you have fiery cars and you have blast fires and different, performances that are actually good and a story behind it. And the different cool stuff where he's fighting those pale bald guys and he's hands handcuffed and he jumps to the chain the hook and he's swinging, and it's just the stuff like that are very fun and exciting and again very visceral experience. And then again, like to add on to that, kind of having like they want to go to the I forgot what it's called, the green area, and then it turns out that it doesn't exist, and the great, oddly enough, world building by not having world building. This idea of there is nothing left, there is nothing, there, and I love like the fight with the guitar. And it's just I think it's unique because of what Earth looks like and what the vehicles can do, what some of these characters can do, and different, again, world building. Like, yes, it's Earth, but it's a new kind of Earth, a reinvented Earth. And I think that adds to just the uniqueness of this film, where you can have, again, unique sequences that you probably couldn't have in these different films otherwise. And I think that really lends itself really nicely. And again, like these action sequences, they're just so great because it has everything in it. Or you can have, yes, what's presumptively a chase sequence, but because you have people going from vehicles to vehicles, and you have fist fights on the vehicles, and you have gun shootings through the vehicles, or you have because it's like rated R, you got constantly blood, and they got Furiosa has the metal arm, and they always also add tension when Mad Max, when Max and Nux are tied to a chain when they fight when they fight Furiosa and the other ladies. What kind of makes that unique is where someone pulls Nux, Max falls back, and when they're pulling Max, Nux comes back, and it's full of great action sequences, great locations, great world building, or the lack thereof that makes it world building, and the uniqueness of the action sequences, whether it be because of the vehicles or because of the spikes and the different creatures, or different types of people, and the again the practical effects of the action sequences, and the great locations and the color palette. I think everything is dialed up to a 10 as far as, or dialed up to 11, whatever, as far as trying to make it on such an epic scale, where it's like they could have just gone for the easy way out and say, we don't have to blow up this truck, let's just make some CGI and get out of it. But no, it makes it a grander experience, and I think the shots benefit from that. Where it's like, I love the shot where Nux sacrifices himself and flips the truck, and they do that in slow motion. But because it's real, it makes it so much better. And I love when it lands and all the pieces are flying, and the different paint explosions. And again, the tough where I love the shot where where one of the pale people, I don't know what they're called, like the pale bald guy is jumping off from his vehicle with the two spikes, and it's like slow motion. He extends his whole body and slams right into the spikes and blows up the car. It's just so great, and I think this film is a very fun ride and an experience, and I think it's not for everyone, but it's for me as a huge action fan and fan of all these actors. Really good film. A great film, really. Stay tuned for more videos coming at you.